If you're new here, my name's Kathy and this is Living on Slow Time. So last week, well, a few days ago, in our last video, I had made some homemade applesauce. We're up in the state of Michigan for the summer and into the fall a little bit here, and it's apple season up here. So I have a lot of nice fresh Michigan apples here. This is a Granny Smith apple I'm finishing up. We've got a Macintosh. We got a Macintosh and we have a Gala apple. And I've already cut up some of these apples over here. We're just going to peel our apples up and we're going to make us an apple crisp today. Now, if you wanted to, you could leave the peelings on your apples. Now, we're going to start off today and I'm going to actually do my apple pie filling. That's how I make my apple crisp. That's how I make my apple pies. So we're going to actually start on the cook stove. So I don't typically cook my apples in the oven completely in the crisp. I like to make them ahead of time. And what I'll do with all of these beautiful apples that I have, as you can see, I've got more over here. We're actually going to make a little bit of apple butter. Somebody requested that I make apple butter, so I'm going to do that. But also, I'll make some extra apple pie filling and put it in my freezer for the holidays. It makes for very simple, very easy desserts when you need them, if you already have that apple pie filling on hand. And making your own homemade apple pie filling is so easy. So we're just going to cut up our apples. Now, if you were making a pie and you wanted them in slices, or you want them in slices in your crisp, you can do that. I'm just chunking mine up. You'll see here that they're pretty much, look at that pretty pink color in there. I noticed that on some of these other Macintosh, that they came up with the little pink color to it. If you know why that happens, let me know. It's on the deeper red section, so I'm just assuming the color just kind of bleeds into it or something. But back to what we're doing here is we're taking a mixture of apples and we're going to make our apple pie filling. And by having that pie filling at home in the freezer, it does make for very simple desserts. And you know what's inside of it. You can adjust the seasonings at what suits you as far as your cinnamon, nutmeg levels, even your sweetness levels. If you're diabetic or something and you want to use some of the, it's called swerve or stevia or something like that in it, you could substitute and do that as well. So easiest way to do things at home and to make it your own. So I'm going to take actually only about 6 cups of these apples do I need, but I think I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut all of these up, and if I end up with some extra, it's okay. So we're just going to keep cutting. We've got just one more right here anyway. Now some people use a corer to core out their apples. I find it so much easier just to cut the cheeks off the apple and throw the core away than digging for that core there. Now I am going to go ahead, I'm going to put a little bit of lemon juice on here. The ones that I had already had sliced up, I'd already put a little bit on there, and that's just to kind of help with the coloring of those apples. So juice of about half of a lemon is all that I'm doing. Okay, so we're going to turn that oven on to about 350, 375, let that start warming up. And then we're going to bring our apples over here and we're going to get our pan started. Now, the reason I like to cook my apples a little bit first is I really don't want that crisp topping to get a little too done. So I tend to like to go ahead and cook the apples a little bit first. Then I can adjust my seasonings. I can tell if I need to add more sugar to it, or if the apples are super juicy and I need to add a little additional flour to it, I can do that at this time. If I stick it all in the oven and those apples release a lot of juice on them, then it will actually make that crisp very watery, and I don't want that. But this way it gives me a lot more control over everything, and I know that it's going to be a good dessert. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to stick about a tablespoon of butter in here to start with, and that's just to really kind of add just a little extra flavor in there to those apples. We're going to go ahead and pour these all in here. This is actually about 8 cups worth Like I said, typically about 6 cups is all you need, but if I have a little extra, it's okay. That just means we have more goodness down inside. Now to our apples, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our sugars. Now, I like to use 2 different kinds of sugars. Some people will use just white, but I like the richness that the brown sugar gives to those apples. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in here. I'm going to start with just a 1/4 cup of brown sugar and a 1/4 cup of regular sugar. And that's going to be adjusted based off of how sweet these apples are. So we may come back and add a little more, but just remember, you can't take it out. So we've got our sugars in here. We're going to go ahead and put in just a couple tablespoons of all-purpose flour, and that's just to thicken them up a little bit. We'll go ahead and put 2 in here if we right on top. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and add our seasonings. Now I'm using cinnamon. I'm going to go ahead and put in a good teaspoon of cinnamon in here. Healthy. It's all going to be adjusted to taste. Looking at the amount of apples I've got, I think I'm going to add about an extra 1/2 teaspoon in here. And then we've got our nutmeg. Now nutmeg, usually use about a 1/4 teaspoon, so I'm going to go with a healthy 1/4 teaspoon here. Maybe a smidge more. Love that darkness, the richness that nutmeg brings. And then just like with anything sweet, you want to kind of counterbalance a little bit with salt. So we're really just going to do a little pinch of salt. And I looked it up earlier today because I'm going to put this recipe down below for you guys. But I looked up as to what the equivalent of a pinch of salt is. Because if you take my hand and my pinch, or you take my husband's hand that's bigger than mine, and he reaches in and grabs a pinch, it's going to be different. So a pinch of salt is typically, from what it's saying, is about a 1/16 of a teaspoon. So if you've got an 1/8 teaspoon measure, you can use that and just do a 1/2 of that and get your 1/16. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to give this all a good stir here. Whoops, man overboard. I'm always losing things when I'm cooking. But we're just going to stir this around, and the house is going to start smelling amazing with all of that cinnamon in there and that nutmeg in there. All right, so we're going to let these sit here and start cooking. We're not going to cook them all the way through. We just kind of want them to get just a little bit tender because they'll finish cooking in the oven. Okay, so while our apples are cooking away over here, they're getting nice and thick. We're going to, I think I'm going to turn that on down onto low and let those just keep on cooking. While those are doing it, let's make that topping. So I like to have more oats than I do flour. Some people will have it just the opposite, but I like that texture of the rolled oats. You want to use an old-fashioned oat. You don't want to use the quick cooking because those will get soggy and become oatmeal pretty much on top for you. So I'm going to put a cup of oats down in there, and then I'm going to go with about 3/4 cup of flour in there. And that will help as well with any excess juices from those apples that develop in the oven, that it will help that thicken up a little as well. Now, brown sugar, I'm going to go ahead on my brown sugar. I'm going to do a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. I'm packing it down. That's 1/4. And there's a 1/2. And then I need my spoon. And then I want to do a teaspoon of cinnamon in here. Kind of measure with that heart. You can add a little extra if you want to in there. I do sometimes. And just a touch of nutmeg. Not much. Just because that adds that little bit of extra flavor and depth in there. And then with the salt, a little pinch is all we're going to do there. And that's our butter. So we're going to go ahead and just give this all a quick stir real quick first before we add our butter into it, just to get everything mixed together good. This is how quick and simple this topping comes together. So much faster than a pie crust. Now, if you decide to do a pie, I'll do a video at some point on making a homemade crust, but there's nothing wrong with those store-bought refrigerated pie crust either. Used them for many years. So we've got here, never mind my microwave, it's gotten a lot of use. We have a half a cup of butter, which is 1 stick of butter that we've melted. And we're just gonna get all that goodness off this plate because everything's better with butter. We're just gonna give this a stir up, and we're gonna make just a crumble. We want it to kind of look like pea-sized crumbles to it. If we don't get that, then we'll go ahead and we'll add some extra flour or oats to it, whatever we need to do to get it, but this is coming together pretty nicely. Now, this is where a lot of people will end with it. I like having that extra crunch in there, so I like to add walnuts to mine, and I'm going to put probably about a half a cup of walnuts down in there, and that's just to give that little extra something. And whenever they toast up in the oven on top of there with that butter and all that sugar and cinnamon, and that just becomes a whole lot of love, to be honest. All right. So that's how we want our crumb topping to look. No dry spots. We want that butter to get all in there. And let me see if I can get things right with the universe here and be able to show you. See how we've got the nice crumbles here? That's exactly what we want. All right, let's go get these apples and put everything together. Look at those apples just bubbling away. Does that not look delicious? Oh my goodness. All right, so we're going to shut this off because that's all finished cooking there. Now, the reason I like to use multiple kinds of apples is because some of them will break down more than others. See how that's thickened, and there's almost like an applesauce consistency down in here as well. Can you see that? And then some of them stay in chunks. That's why I like to use some different varieties, because they all cook down to a different consistency. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this together. We're going to dump these apples right down into the bottom of our baking dish here. And I think it's actually, I did pretty good on those apples, doing about 8 cups for this pie pan. So that technically would be enough to do a nice apple pie as well. If you had a deep dish apple pie you're wanting to make, you're going to want to probably double this recipe. But these cook down rather nicely. There we go. So we've got a nice layer of apples, because you know it is an apple crisp and we want to make sure that we taste those apples. So we've got those down in here. Let's do a little taste. I love apple crisp. Let me wash that finger. Okay. Sorry, because I'm fixing to get my hands all up in this. Now I do want to go ahead and get out of here. Thank goodness for small kitchens. Everything's in reach. Get all this goodness out of that spoon. We don't want to leave any of it behind. Any of those warm fall spices. Any of that apple flavor from those fresh Michigan apples. And no, this is not sponsored by Michigan Apples by any means. It's just my love of apples in the fall and the coziness that it all brings. All right, let's go ahead and set that over there. And then now we're just going to put our crumble topping on, and literally we're just going to dump it all on here. And we're just going to crumble it up. That's a crumble, a crisp, whatever you want to call it. Now, if you were making a Dutch apple pie, you could use this same topping for it if you'd like. Get yourself a frozen pie crust. Do just a single layer pie crust. Put your pie filling down in there. Put this right on top of it. And then you've got yourself an apple pie with a nice crispy, crunchy top on it. All right, we're just going to put that all down on here and push that down just a little bit. And wash these sticky hands. Okay, now because this is so full and we don't know if it's going to get any juicier, we're just going to set this on top of a pie pan that I've put a little bit of foil up underneath of it so that if it drips out, it's fine. I don't think it's going to, but we're going to do that anyway. And we're just going to stick this in the oven. This was preheated to 350 degrees. We're going to let that cook in there about 30 to 35 minutes. All right, my timer just went off, and we're going to come in here and we're going to take this out of the oven. Oh my word. Look at that bubbling goodness. All right, so here comes the hard part besides smelling that all this time while it's been cooking. But that hard part is we've got to let it sit for about 20 minutes. Are we ready to dig into this beautiful apple crisp? Look at that. Just fantastic. Nice, crisp, crunchy topping to it. And look how well those apples set up in there. So that's going to be an absolutely perfect dessert. You going to come over and have some apple crisp with me, dear?
Absolutely. I've been smelling it the last hour, so definitely going to try it. It looks delicious. It smells delicious too.
I just sound fantastic. I get just a little bit excited about food. I'm telling you.
Yeah, just a wee bit.
Right on here.
Put a good vanilla bean on there.
Yeah. Look at that dessert. That's like the ultimate. I've got mine. You've got yours. Let's get that ultimate bite. And you know, if you've got some extra apple pie filling left over, and from making your crisp or making your apple and stuff, save it. Top your ice cream with it. Warm it up a little bit. A little caramel drizzle on top. Oh, gosh.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, my.
That's like a warm hug.
It is.
That's
delicious.
About all you can say about it. It's like a
crumble
warm.
On top is crunchy.
Mm.
Apples are tasty. They set up like a little cube apple right there. The ice cream just makes it even better.
Mm-hmm. The creaminess of the ice cream, the toastiness from the walnuts that we put in that topping, and then the crunch of that crisp on top. I stuck my finger in ice cream. Mm. We're going to go finish our dessert. We hope that you enjoyed the video. Hope you make a beautiful apple crisp for your family. Top it off a little ice cream or fresh whipped cream.
Either or. Can't go wrong.
Either or. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. Back here, we've got the things set up that I'm going to be making some apple butter next. I had somebody ask me to make apple butter, and that's what I'm getting ready to take care of right now with the rest of those apples that I had over in the sink. So stay tuned. Give us subscribe so you can see us make that apple butter. And until next time,
remember, keep living on slow time.
bye, y'all. Oh, apple crisp.
Maybe the best one you made.
You think?
Mm-hmm.